Okay, so this video does not continue from the last one because I've been working with multiple SD cards and I accidentally deleted the last two videos that I recorded to get to this point, unfortunately. And let me render it out to show you, and I'll tell you what I did because that was interesting. The most important part of it was actually in the original 3 videos. This is interesting. I don't know what it's doing. 3D Studio Max likes to surprise you by doing things that you have never seen it do before. I've been working with this program for a very long time. There we go. Okay, so this is the final scene. And there are only 2 lights in this scene. The one, which is the one I showed you that I set up, and the other one is I just put one Omni in the middle of the street to light up the faces on the inside, these inside faces. I found this really cool mural. I just typed in urban art and got this really cool mural that looks like it would be great for the side of a restaurant or something. I don't know, kind of reminiscent of downtown Decatur. I extruded text and put that as a sign. And then I just inset all of these buildings. I didn't do this one. I was just in a hurry, so I just finished it up. But you can see the end result here. And I'll tell you where I got the trees. I got the trees under standard primitives. Pull that down and go to AEC extended. And you have one called foliage. And before you insert them, so I used, I think, American Elm. Use medium. If you use high, it's going to really eat up a lot of memory. And you can maybe only do 1 or 2, maybe 3 trees at most before it really slows you down. Or low detail, okay? Do low or medium detail. Don't do more than that, okay? And I think maybe it wasn't American Elm that I use, because it doesn't look as fat. I guess it did. You can scale those, and I just scaled them down because when I put it in, it was like the Godzilla tree had invaded the city. And they're just actual trees. Now, if you want to, these are for foreground use, and just use a couple of them. If you want background trees, you see how I've got background trees here, technically, giant foothills. You want to use images, because as you can see here, this looks pretty good compared to what I see on the screen. I got more texture here. That Omni, you see the Omni, it's literally right in the middle, and it's helping to create that ambient light, light up these faces. It was too dark without it, as you saw in the last video. What else did I do? I really just went in and spent the time to go in and add more materials. That's really it. And I fixed the roof. I just put a big box on top. And then you guys will see what I did there in another video. I just went in, and so this was the box that the material is on, and then I just put the parapet up here on top of it. Because in the original photo of the building, it had a big parapet on top like that. So I just duplicated that. I would probably do something here, kind of make that look like it has a roof, because right now it literally is just cut off. But yeah, you can see the light, the Omni. It's just right there in the middle. And I made that made on the back. Just found a bunch of materials that fit what I needed and put those in there. Oh, where did that come from? I must have accidentally just put that in there. Don't need that in the scene. Yeah, when you put them in, trees are usually massive and just scale them down. But yeah, those are my 2 sources of light. Just added all my materials. And just took my time. Oh, I think one other thing I did was with the background. Let me show you guys that. So what I did was this for my, I didn't like the background. I thought it was too big. It may still even be too big because, you know, well, no, it's probably about right, I guess. So what I did was I adjusted the tiling from 1 to 2. So when you increase that number under tiling, it makes the image smaller. And then I checked mirror instead of tile. Because what happens is it flips it rather than tiles it. And then I just adjusted the offset, and it made this better. And as a result, I reduced that blur so that it wasn't quite so so blurry. And I think this is a better end result. Okay, so all I did was I just changed the tiling to 2. Checked mirror. It was on tile. I just checked mirror. And then I just made whatever adjustments to get it to position properly. And it worked out. And so that's the end result. And then I use this. You'll see it a little bit more in the next video where I talk about animation. So sorry about that. Sorry you guys didn't get to watch me do this. But when you saw me do this first one, it pretty much is the same what I did to each and every box. You just convert them to an edible poly, and then select. Oops, I gotta select one. Right, and then select the polygon you want to apply the material to. Oops, I didn't select it. There we go. So I select that face, and then when you apply the material, it will only apply it to that face. Same as when I selected this one. I only applied that material to that face. And then one other thing I think I didn't cover: when you run out of spheres to apply materials to, you're not actually out. So what can happen is you can say I need a new material and I don't have any more spheres. You just hit the trash can and affect material map in the editor slot only. Say OK, and it will clear it so that you can use it again. However, if you go to Scene Materials, I just click on where Physical Material was, and it opens the browser and expands Scene Materials. You'll see that material is still there. I can call it back at any time. You have infinite number of materials you can work with. You just have a set number of slots that are visible. So say I need to bring it back, I just double click on it. And there it is. And I don't know what I used it for. Oh, I used it for the sign. So you can continue to work with those existing materials. You just get rid of them temporarily so that you have more slots. Now, if you tell it to the top one, it will delete it completely. So don't do that. Just pick the bottom one only. So you never lose your materials. Okay, I think that's it. So I'm gonna stop here. Show you one last time. That's amazing, right? One other thing, in case I didn't say this in the other videos, this is for stuff that's in the midground to the background. If you get too close to this stuff, and let's just get too close. It will start to pixelate like that. And it will also be clear that you didn't model it. It only works because it's an illusion from a distance. The closer you get, the more clear it becomes that this isn't real. That it's just a facade. So for anything that's up close, you will need to do more detail. You'll need to do more modeling. And you've probably played a video game where that's happened. You got really close to something and it looked like that. And you're like, oh, what happened? You know, you walk into a wall or a building or whatever, you zoom in, and there you can see how I've mirrored. This is the mirror seam, and that's the mirror seam. And I think it just works better to mirror it. And trees in the distance. I'm going to show you guys another trick for when you're doing more than this. Okay, so we'll leave it there and move on to the next thing, which is animation. Woohoo!